Welcome back. You're still watching The Breakfast Show, and now it's time for the third and final segment of today's Breakfast Show edition. Of course, as you all know, the revolution has changed the inner self of many Egyptians. We have been discussing this through the previous episodes of The Breakfast Show. We have talked, for example, how people started respecting queues when they are standing in queues while casting their votes in the parliamentary elections, the positive attitude, but as well there was negative attitude. And to discuss this more, we are honored to have with us Mrs. Raghda Elsaeed. She is a human development expert. Good morning to you, Mrs. Raghda.
Good morning and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for everyone.
Thank you. And good morning to you too. Now, as Hala said, she mentioned something very important. But a lot of people, since we are almost 1 year into the revolution, feel that a lot of negative developments were happening in Egypt. However, we want to tell them first by the positive developments, if there are any, apart from the queues.
Of course, there are a lot of
that was very important. Standing in queues was very important.
There are a lot of positive things, but maybe some people sees it as a negative thing because it became a relative issue. Actually, everybody is talking about democracy. But do we have the culture of democracy? This is the issue. Everyone thinks that democracy is saying his own opinion and stick to it. And do not hear the other one. So actually, it's the matter of developing the culture of democracy. Some people are accepting others' opinion. The others, the negative part of this democracy issue is that they reject. They reject to hear anyone. They just, you can see the blocks on Facebook. You can see removing friends. I see this as a negative thing. But I give justification. Because, you know, like the revolution is like a baby. So it's like, you know, the cat, when it's cuddling her babies and holding it, if anyone comes near it, she's going to scratch him. So this I don't call it aggression. Maybe people, they say the people became very aggressive. No, I have another point of view that it's not aggressiveness. It's just you lived in a big lie for 30 years or more. And now you can die for something that you believe in. So I think this spirit of dying for something you believe in can give you all the courage. I don't consider it violence, I don't consider it aggression, it's called courage.
Perhaps we are taking like baby steps towards democracy. And when a baby starts taking his first steps, he falls and he
rises again.
And he stands back, again on his feet. So perhaps we are still in the baby steps
exactly.
stage.
But the baby is 1 year now; he has to walk.
But I believe, from my own point of view, is that it's going to take some time. From my own personal point of view, it's going to take us 10 to 15 times. But my friends tell me you are very pessimistic. But you are the expert here. So what do you think?
Because I am a bit optimistic. This is my my character. So I see that okay, we fall and we struggle. And we face lots of things. But actually what happens made the people or the youth or everyone lack a bit of his humanity. Because of the bloodshed, you know, when you see a lot of blood, it becomes, you know, when you get so sad and you feel agony for someone who died, and then you find it's like a counter. So this makes us lose our humanity, not lose our humanity as humans, but you know, it became that you see, did we reach this step that the soul is very cheap? So all these concepts or these aspects makes us, you know, so tough and so negative and so pessimistic. But we have to look at the lighter part. You know, as I always say, the cup is always full. It's full of half of it air and half of it water. So it's always full. Just see, we have to have like a perspective.
Yes.
A long vision or you know, a far vision for the future.
Not just a perspective, but, and you mentioned something very important. You said that it's 1 year old and the revolution is like a baby, and the baby, it's time for it to walk. But there's also something very important here, that we need to find a role model or some kind of
leader.
Yes, a leader that we should follow in terms of attitude, in terms of character, in terms of everything, to be able to learn when we are new babies or newborns, to learn about life the proper way, or to learn about
Guidance.
democratic,
Exactly.
yeah, to be
We're
guided.
talking
So
guidance,
who
yeah.
is there to guide us? Because see, when the revolution first started, there wasn't a leadership that carried out the revolution like the previous revolution in the 50s. It's the people who went out all together for economic reasons, basically.
Okay, it's great to be the leader of yourself, but in this situation, they have to have a leader. No, they have to together, and choose a leader from the youth, not from names. I'm not. I'm convinced to have a name and make him like an idol, and then we go after him. We have to gather on one word, on one demand, not separate demands, because separate demands make other authorities or other countries or other people look at you as, you know, like shattered. The unity itself gives power. The unity of word, the unity of demands, the unity of the youth themselves, that they unite on something. Okay, I'm completely with the youth on their demands, okay? But the way, the approach itself, maybe I'm against the approach of being aggressive, but completely with their demands. So why don't you gather, you get, you know, everything, and this is a very important thing. When they get someone as a spokesman representing the youth and they reach a solution, what do people say? No, this one does not represent us. So who represents you? We represent ourselves. No, you have to have a leader. The leader leads. You know, they have to be led by themselves, but you have to choose. So this is a very important part of choosing a leader and choosing and unite on one demand in order to go forward.
I think we can all agree that Egyptians have changed. It's very obvious they have changed in so many ways, whether positively or negatively. This is something else. Whether this state of changing is still ongoing, also this is another thing. But what caught my attention, Mrs. Raghda, is that I noticed that women in particular have changed. Now they want to make their voices heard. So we have seen the recent march 5 or 6 days ago in protest against the violent use of force. We have seen women now speaking out loud, although this wasn't the case before. We have seen women participating in the revolution. Yes, this happened, but an all-women march, I mean, uniting their voices and coming out together and asking for respect and asking for dignity. I believe this is something that, this is the sort of change that occurred to the Egyptian personality. What do you have to say?
You know, it's a very big change that females actually participate in the revolution, that females has the guts and the courage to say whatever they want after the revolution. I consider a heroine of our time is Samira Ibrahim, the one who with the virginity tests. She is, you know, she had the guts to face all people with something like this. This exactly what the change that happened after the revolution. We are not afraid of anything. It's you know, we speak loudly, we say our words, but there is a very negative part in this. The protests, Samira Ibrahim, all these things, and not one seat in the parliament.
Yes.
This is a disaster, because this will, on the long run, it will, you know, it will defect, or it will have a defect in the development of the character of the female and her role in the political life. So this is a catastrophe.
Change is ongoing, as I said, Mrs. Raghda.
Yes,
it's still going to take time, as I said.
It's the base nowadays,
Yes.
so this is the issue.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, our time is up. Thank you very much. We would like to thank you again, Mrs. Raghda Elsaeed, Human Development Expert.
Thank you very much, and we hope you had much more longer time, but we promise you that in the coming episodes, of course, we'll be discussing this important, and Egypt, the change of character, whether it's positive or negative. How do you feel about it? Thank you very much, Hala.
Thank you very much, Yasmin, and thank you all for being with us. Tomorrow, inshallah, you'll be meeting with another crew, another edition of The Breakfast Show. Until then, I'm Hala Hamarawi. Bye-bye.